we're going to talk about applying discounting to different ways. Now, a common question is how trust relates to selfishness. A capitalist economy is said to run on selfishness. Everybody's out for themselves. How do they trust others? In fact, how do we reconcile this selfishness with an economy that depends on tremendous amount of trust? Every day in nearly every transaction? Discount rates. People demonstrate trust as an investment in a long-term relationship. For example, if you start your own business, maybe you're a consultant, your early clients might say something like, wow, I got a lot of value out of that, much more than I paid for. If I had paid twice as much, I'd still be satisfied. You're leaving money on the table in order to build a network of delighted customers who will refer others to you and return to you for more. Is that a good investment? It depends on your discount rate. You're giving up money now in return for money later. Discount rates allow rational people to compare those two different units. A person with a high discount rate would put a high discount on future money, so they wouldn't invest as much. A person with a low discount rate would invest more. People with low discount rates are going to be more trustworthy. For the same reason, corporations build brands that people trust. Not because they care, but because they want future revenue. Apple, for example, charges more, a lot more, for their products because they have built a reputation for quality. They're one of the most valuable companies in the world because of it. And that's why recruiters who come to Colin Powell School look to hire people with integrity, who are trustworthy. They want people who will build a personal brand for quality. Another case where we use discount rates is in sustainability questions. As we consider costs far in the future, we have to figure their present value today. Rational decisions compare costs and benefits, but those have to be in the same units. $1 in the future is not the same unit as $1 now. Suppose that 100 years in the future, some catastrophe costs us $1 billion. Is that a really big number? How much is it worth doing now to avoid that cost? What would we be willing to pay? That's the same calculation we did before. Present value is the value in the future divided by 1 plus the interest rate to the t power. A few things to note. If t is big, then it's just a simple feature of math that any number greater than 1 raised to a very large power gets really big. That's the rule of 70 we talked about. Number can double quite fast, double again and over again for a long enough time. So dividing by a really big number makes the outcome really small. For example, $1 billion cost 100 years in the future could be worth just $1 million today, or it could be worth $135 million today, depending on what interest rate we use to discount. At a low discount rate, it's worth spending a good bit of money today to avoid that cost in the future. At a high discount rate, it's not worth spending very much. For instance, the MTA makes these decisions as they consider modifications to stations. Knowing that sea levels will rise and storms will get more intense, they need better pumps and other adaptations. There are other philosophical issues out there too. Is it moral to discount people in the future below ourselves? But whatever. You can discuss that in future classes. This discount rates also arise in questions about artificial intelligence risk, effective altruism, effective accelerationism. They all have the same basic issue. What is a reasonable interest rate to use when discounting future costs or benefits? With the additional question of how do we adjust for risk? Usually a risky outcome has a higher rate. That's the common risk-reward trade-off. A risky investment, where there's a substantial possibility you can lose your money, must offer a high return to compensate for that risk. But a safe investment, where there's little possibility you lose your money, can offer a lower return because of that safety. But all these things all come back to discounting.